everyone, and welcome to today's video. So we're going to do something different today, and it has been brought to my attention that I have not introduced myself yet on my channel. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to do kind of an about me, questions. I asked some friends and family if they would kind of think of some things that, you as viewers might want to know. So I've got a whole list. Bear with me as I get through it, but hopefully this will let you guys know a little bit more about me, and yeah, so. First thing is, my name is Jenna. I am originally from Ohio. First generation of my family that is from Ohio. The rest of my family is mainly from the Virginia area. That's where my mom grew up for a little bit before they moved to Ohio. I was actually not born in Ohio. I was born close, but I was not born in Ohio. But I did grow up there my whole life. Next question, where do I live now? So now I live in New Mexico, and the whole reason that I ended up moving here was because of, number one, my film degree. I am attending Full Sail online, and New Mexico has a really good film presence without actually having to be in, like LA. Like I can drive through a big city. I can handle being in a big city, but I don't want to live there. I don't really want to be anywhere near there. So the closest big city that I have near me is Albuquerque, and I live a good ways away from that. So I can still get there if I would need to do something film-wise, or like there's shops, like different shops and things that they have that you can't get when you live as far out as I do. So I can still go into Albuquerque and get things that I need. Plus, again, the film degree made it really good. And there's like a whole story of how we ended up out here, and it was really unconventional, but it worked out, and it was really, really good the way things happened. So the next thing is, well, what made you want to come to New Mexico? So, well, I'll just go ahead and go into the whole story. So the story was, back in August of 2024, Brian and I decided that we wanted to go on a vacation, and we decided to come out here. I had been out to New Mexico before. I absolutely loved it. I always wanted to go back. And the whole point was kind of also for me to do some filming, which we did filming. And there's going to be a whole video from that vacation. Yes, it's old footage, but I really would like to kind of put that out there because it kind of tells the story of how we went from Ohio to here. So anyway, we came here for vacation. While we were out here, there had been a really bad drought in Ohio, and the river had dropped so low that pretty much all of the barge companies, the boat companies on the river, pretty much all of them had to shut down and stop operation unless they had small enough boats. So Brian was working for them at the time, and he had gotten laid off while we were out here. While we were out here, there was a situation that happened that was not planned, and thankfully, a couple of people that we met and have stayed friends with since then, and actually that we bought this property from, kind of took us in and were extremely nice to us. They with not having any extra money than what we planned for vacation, they were really generous and helped us out. Made sure we had food, made sure we had a place to stay. They were really nice. So long story short, after talking to them, they had to evict the previous tenant of this place, of the 10 acres that we live on. And so we kind of helped with that, and then the deal was we could buy the acreage and the house and everything. We could buy that. We just had to kind of clean everything out. So that was a whole big process, and that's pretty much how we ended up out here. Was Brian got laid off, and my job back in Ohio was just kind of to get me going into film. I was a school photographer, and so it really wasn't kind of holding me there. It wasn't like I really needed that job. And out here with the film industry that's close by, I figured I could get a job in film and it would all be fine. And it all worked out. So it worked out really great. And then there was a whole moving process after that, and that was horrifying. So the next question was, which college do you study at? So I go through Full Sail University. It has worked out really great with me needing somewhat to work a job. So I could do a part-time job, but I could still do the school stuff as well. And then like now, I work for someone I'm contracted through, and I'm also doing videos for myself, but I'm also still in school. I'm supposed to graduate this December, so it all works out really well. So that was pretty much, the next question was why I chose it. The degree program that I'm taking is the Digital Cinematography Bachelor's degree, and I might continue it. I haven't quite made my mind up on that yet, but for right now I'm just in the Digital Cinematography Bachelor's degree. What is a skill that you would like to learn? Probably the main thing I would like to learn right now is sound. They kind of, through the school you get, in my degree program, you get a little bit of sound. Like, they touch on it. But they don't go into depth. And as I've gone through the degree program, I've realized that I really like the post-production part of film. And so I think that, especially if I were to continue with schooling, if I decide that, I will probably want to get some sort of sound degree. I'm not for sure that that's going to be through Full Sail. It just kind of depends on how things go by the time I'm done and looking at other bigger contracts or something like that. But sound is something else I would really like to learn, because I kind of suck at figuring sound and stuff out. Next is, what made you start a YouTube channel? So what made me start the YouTube channel was I had to already post videos for school, which if you're watching this channel, then you should have probably already seen those. When you upload, like if you have to make a video for class, you either have to upload it to Vimeo or to YouTube. I personally chose YouTube. Had never had experience with either one of them, but I've also used YouTube for years, and I've never used Vimeo at all. So I decided to upload everything to YouTube, and doing that, there was kind of just this thing one day where I was like, if I'm going to spend 2 years uploading projects to YouTube for school, I might as well just go ahead and film some other things. Plus it gives me a good reason to film, and it gives me kind of, it's like my portfolio. So when I get done with college and they start, especially when they start doing my career readiness class that I have coming up later on this year, when I go to get ready to do that, at least I will have had a portfolio kind of put on YouTube, so that way potential employers could see, like, okay, so she's worked, this whole year, or the last 2 years she's been putting stuff up here, she's put more up this year, she's getting better. It just makes a portfolio. Plus it's kind of fun sitting here doing something that I love and then getting to share that with other people. So that's why I started the YouTube channel. What are your goals for your future? So I want to travel. I think that would be great. At first, though, I really want to stick with the post-production if I can, the editing and everything afterwards. Eventually I might start continuing to actually film for somebody else. It really just kind of depends, but I'd like to be able to travel. I'd like to be able to travel and go different places. Like, I've taken one cruise before, trying to plan another cruise now. Like, I like to travel. So hopefully this job will end up doing something to where I get to travel all over the earth and do all kinds of different things. A goal I had at one point was to try to work for National Geographic if I could, or like Disney or something. I don't know that that's where I want to go anymore. It all just kind of depends. I'm trying to take everything day by day and figure it out as I go and just have a few things planned out. So that's like, I have it planned to where I kind of want to take contracts next year in 2026. I'll take these contracts where, hopefully most of them are all post-production and editing, putting everything together, all that type of thing. Who are some actors or directors that you want to work with? This is a fun one. Steven Spielberg, if we're going to go with directing. Steven Spielberg would be one. I think everything I've ever seen of his I've loved. It's really great. Another one that comes to my mind is Kevin Costner. I absolutely love you. I like the Western stuff, and I like, obviously, we're going to get into this, but I love horses. So, I love, like, Yellowstone. I haven't gotten to watch any of the others yet that have to do with that, which I know that's a Taylor Sheridan thing. But, Kevin Costner is one of the ones, like, even his old movies, like, Dances with Wolves, I love those. I think that they're great, and he's definitely one I'd want to work with. Other actors or directors. I can't think of everything right now. I'm trying to think. I can think of, so one, if you want to go with maybe some singers, we can do like singers. So I'd absolutely love working with Taylor Swift. I'd love working with Post Malone. A lot of country music people, I would like to work with them. But that kind of goes a little more into sound than what I've done so far, which is why I was saying earlier that I would like to do probably a sound degree at some point. That way I can touch on that a little bit more and maybe try to also step into the music industry part of everything. If I think about it, if I think of anybody else, I'll mention them, but off the top of my head, like, the number one person I can think of that I really want to work with is Kevin Costner, because I absolutely love him. Sorry, I lost my place. What movies had a big impact on you? Okay. So I have several. And first is, like I said, we're going to get into this a lot more. I love horses. Horses are my favorite animal. I've had several of my own, and I love my baby girl that I've got now. So the first movie that automatically comes to my mind that has made a big impact on me was Spirit, Stallion of the Cimarron. That was a movie as a child, like, I can still sit here, and if you play that soundtrack, I can sing every word to the soundtrack, like, and I can play the movie back in my head. So that was definitely a big movie. A couple of others, like I said, Kevin Costner, Dances with Wolves was one I've loved since a child. Since the first time my mom let me watch that one with her. Absolutely love that movie. Pretty much any of the horse movies, like Flicka, Secretariat, which I know that came out when I was a little bit older. All of those have had a big impact because of, like, when I do filming, like the filming I'm doing right now, yes, I like it, but if I could sit outside all day and film just horses, I would absolutely love it. It would just make my day every day. So those had a big impact. And when you want to talk about other movies, so like all of the Transformers movies, you know, action when it comes to stuff like that, those would be pretty cool. I'd like to work with I'd like to do some animation work, some CGI work. Like, I'm not getting any of that through my degree, but I feel like that would be fun. So those movies have kind of also made an impact because not everything in them is real. It's based off of real things. So, or somewhat real. I mean, Transformers aren't. I mean, they're cars. So, yeah. Anyway, you get that. Let's see. Is there any other movies I can think of off the bat? Yeah. While I'm doing this, my mind's gonna go blank. Anyway, what? So that's kind of my whole career. That's everything that kind of has to do with me having a career in film, the YouTube channel, all of that. So now we're going to get into more about personal things about me. So what are some things I like hobbies and stuff like that. So we're going to get into that now. The first one, what are your hobbies? So obviously, as you're gonna find out watching my channel, I have a lot of hobbies. I like to do a lot of different things. I've done a lot of different jobs. I mean, I don't like just any like one thing. Like, I'm not fixated on, oh, I just do film. Like, I will do lots of different things. So as far as hobbies go, I like to horseback ride. Again, love horses. Horses are my favorite animal. I have my own horses. So horseback riding, any sort of horseback riding, whether it's trail riding, you know, just stupidly making my own cross country course at my property. I don't like the showing part, but I don't mind rodeo, you know, things like that. So that horse stuff is a hobby. Sewing is a hobby. Kind of any crafting, like the diamond dots. You know, simple things like that. I like doing those. Obviously, hunting, fishing. Trying to think what else. Film. I like like film. Painting. I used to do a lot more like drawing and things when I was in high school. I don't do that really as much now, but that was always kind of fun. I do like to paint, you know, especially if I draw something, I like to paint it when I get done drawing it. We'll kind of put like remodeling or kind of maybe interior design as a hobby. Cause I like to switch things up, but like the inside of the house, like I like the decorating part and figuring out where things are going to go and all of that type of thing. And I've done some other stuff, like, other crafts. Well, you know, thinking about the craft thing, I've done some other crafts. Like, I made slime. I have done like, I've got paracord bracelets. And I did more than paracord bracelets. Photography. I mean, if you're going to think about film some more, there's the photography aspect that I liked. I don't do it so much now, kind of sticking more to the filming part of it. Gaming. The gaming's another big one. That's one that just popped in my head. Gaming. So like farming simulator, shopping simulator. I'm trying to think. Red Dead Redemption. I love especially number 2. Love Red Dead Redemption 2. I've had one I've been playing lately is The Crew. I like it a lot. And I kind of, you know, like I said, there's a lot of different things that I like to do. But off the top of my head, those are all, and I think I said sewing. So, because I'm going to have whole, like, sewing videos and stuff coming out. I'd like to start, whenever I'm getting ready to make a whole outfit, I'd like to film the process of me making the outfit and then putting it on in the end and making a video out of that. But yeah, I think other than that, I think that's all for hobbies. Again, if I think of something else, you know, maybe in the future we can do another one of these and I can actually go back and watch what I say in this one and then add some things to it next time. What pets do you have? So I have 3 dogs, I have 3 cats, and I have a horse, and I also have 17 chickens right now. I have had other pets in the past. Right before we moved out here, we had a turtle that we had had for like 2 years. Gave him to my best friend because one of their kids wanted a turtle, and I felt really bad if I was going to bring him. That was a long drive to bring a turtle, so decided to go ahead and let him go to her, but he's doing great, so, you know, I get updates on him all the time. But we've had other animals. I mean, we've had snakes, we've had, the turtle, what else? I've had goats, I've had rabbits, I've been around cows a lot, like where I would keep my horses in Ohio, because I didn't have property in Ohio. I lived in town, so where I had my horses, I mean, they've had a pig, they've had cows, they've had their own horses, they had chickens, you know, everything. But currently what I have is 3 dogs, 3 cats, and a horse, and then the 17 chickens. And I'll make a whole nother video that's kind of about them, their names, all of that. Do you have a favorite? We're gonna take this as a general question and not as, or any of my pets. Do I have a favorite pet? That's like picking a favorite child, and that's not fair. So, favorite animal is obviously a horse. Next would be cats, and then probably dogs. But yeah, what's your favorite color? I don't know if you could tell, but purple is my favorite color. And pretty much any color of purple. I don't have like a certain purple that's like my favorite. As long as it's purple, I don't care. I still am gonna love it. Do you have a favorite flower? Not at all. I don't have a favorite flower at all. Yeah. Favorite flower is gonna be sunflowers. I started out when I was a kid, I think I loved dandelions the most, and I still like dandelions, but you don't get those out here in New Mexico. So I switched, and sunflower ended up becoming my favorite, and we actually have wild sunflowers out here in New Mexico. So that makes me extremely happy when those come out. They usually come out about August. July or August, I think. We got here in August and they were here, but it wasn't too long and then they died. So I think they come out in the summertime here. Are you a morning person or a night owl? I'm kind of both. I can get up really early in the morning, but then also stay up really late at night. Or vice versa. I could stay up really late at night and still be able to get up early in the morning. Like, I don't sleep very good. I have to have help with the sleeping. So I'm both. I can be both. You know, I like to try to sleep in, though that doesn't usually happen. Yeah. And then I try not to stay up too late. There's some nights I just can't sleep, so then I'm up all night. What are some of your personal goals? Get a new house. Really, really want to try to get another house. This one is kind of, it's a mobile home, so it's falling apart. Building my barn. This property it came with a garage, but it did not come with like a horse barn or anything, so I want to get that done. I mean, I know it kind of goes with the professional side, but I want to keep filming. Like that filming for me is not just a job, and that's the whole thing with this YouTube channel is this is not, you know, yes, I said it's for a portfolio, but I'm not looking at this as a job. It also is a hobby, and I'm just having fun. So I don't care what anyone thinks. You know, if you don't like what I'm posting, if you know, and I want to try to post a bunch of different stuff. Like, I don't want to always post the same thing. So as far as personal goals, I really just want to, You know, I want to get my property done the way that I want it done. And then I just want to film. I want to be happy. I want to have a good life. So that's pretty much my goal, is just make my life how I want it, and that's it. Where are you wanting to travel in your future? Okay. Where are you wanting to travel to? All over. I kind of want to go all over. So, like I said, I have been on one cruise before, so that means I've been out of the country one time. And we went to, it was me and my mom. We went to Jamaica, Grand Cayman, and Cozumel. I liked all three, don't get me wrong, they were fun. But the Grand Cayman was my absolute favorite. Like, if I could, I would move there. And actually, the cruise that Brian and I are trying to go on is the exact same thing that my mom and I went on, so I can get back to the Grand Cayman. So then obviously I want to travel back to the Grand Cayman. I'd like to visit every state in the US, because I have these little, I don't even think I still have it out. There's these stickers that you can get from the Love's travel stops, and I'm trying to get every single one of those. So I have all of the ones that we traveled through for vacation last year. I have Ohio. When I go back, coming up here in a week and a half, I plan on going into West Virginia and trying to get a West Virginia one. And then I can't remember all the other states that I need to visit, but there's states that I don't have stickers for that I've been to, and so I just need to get the stickers for them. So when I go to Love's, you know, I pick those up. So that's a whole nother thing. But anyway, so every state. So if we want to go other countries, I really want to go to Scotland. My mom, actually both my mom and my father's side have Scottish in them. Really thick Scottish. Hence all of the red hair on my mom's side. So I really want to go to Scotland. Supposedly we have some Irish as well, so I would like to go to Scotland, Ireland, France, Germany, England. Some of my father's side also kind of come from Czechoslovakia or like the Slovenian areas, so I'd like to go there. Then some of the other like tropical places, so like Fiji and then the Bora Bora, you know, some of those type of places. I'd like to go to those. I don't want to go anywhere where it's really hot. Like my mom's been to Africa, though it would be extremely cool to go to Africa and see like all the wildlife and everything, which is the only reason I would go. It's too hot. Where, I don't know if you can tell by my arm, like all of these freckles, but I am ginger. My mom is ginger, and I know even just moving to New Mexico, I got the heat, sun poisoning, but I got the bumps that come with that. So, and I know my mom got that from when she went to Haiti, and when she went, it was worse in Haiti, but she had it a little bit from Africa. So probably never going to go anywhere like that where it's really, really hot. But yeah, a lot of tropical places. I'd like to go around like the Bahamas and stuff, you know, all of that. That would be really cool. So that's my traveling goals, I guess you could say. What are you most proud of? Probably right now I'm the most proud of the fact that I did move across the country and left my poor mother back in Ohio. I don't want to be proud of that, but I finally got out of Ohio. We'll say that. I am proud of the fact that I finally got out of Ohio. I had been wanting out of Ohio for years. It never worked out, and then it finally happened. So that's another reason why we're glad that we moved here. What are some of your favorite memories? Anytime I have been around horses, I have never had a bad time. I have some really good memories with my mom. We liked to do drunk art. Don't get upset. We liked to just get to where we were tipsy-ish, maybe a little bit more, and then try to do art. That was always a lot of fun. I have a really good friend that's still in Ohio. His name is Caleb. You're actually going to see some footage coming up later on in the year that has to do with him. You know, I have pretty much all good memories with Caleb. I have all good memories with some of my other friends I have some really good memories with. Chelsea, she's been my best friend for a while. I actually figured out that I've known her my whole life, pretty much. I have a lot of good memories with her. Probably my favorite memories are probably anything that had to do with horses, and then a lot of times my mom and I would go on day trips. So just spending time with my mom. What would you like people to remember you for? I don't know. That's a question. It's a question I would have to think about for a while. I mean, I don't want to be remembered for the filming because it's just like a hobby. I guess what I really want to be remembered for is, especially with my friends, just, I try to be helpful. I try to, be as good of a person as I can. And a lot of my friends have gone through some really rough stuff, and I've tried to be there for them. So that's what I really hope that they would remember me for, is that, I would give them the shirt off my back if I had to. I would do anything. So we'll say that's it. Maybe I can come up with a better answer later on. Here's a good one. What advice would you give your younger self? I have a lot of advice for that chick. I have a lot of advice. The biggest thing I would say to myself, if I could change anything, is that a question? No. So along with the advice that I would give myself, and if I could change anything, is don't let anybody else tell you what you can or can't do. When I was younger, specifically high school and a little bit thereafter, actually quite a while after, I let people tell me what I can or can't do, what I should or what I shouldn't do. And that made me waste a lot of time. It's like, I talk to Caleb all the time and I tell him, like, dude, I really wish I would have taken the broadcasting class in high school. Like, that would have been so great. Because I even loved photography back then. I don't know why I didn't take that class, other than there were certain things. Kind of what goes along with my advice is, don't let anyone tell you what you can or can't do and what you should or shouldn't do. And if I could go back and change anything, I would definitely change how high school went for me. I would change how, up until at least a few years ago, I would change how pretty much everything went if I could. A lot of stuff happened, and it wasn't great. There was good moments, but I learned a lot of things from that, and it really did change me a lot. And I don't necessarily like the change that happened. I've tried to go back and be like how I was before all of that, and I can't do it anymore. Probably because I'm an adult now and I was a child then. That's all I'm gonna say about that, is don't let anyone tell you what you can or cannot do. You can do anything you put your mind to. You don't need anyone's approval. And just be yourself. What do you value most in life? Laughter. I like to laugh. I like people who can make me laugh. And I value my time. If I'm spending time with you, then you really mean something to me. Obviously my mom, I've mentioned that several times. When we lived in Ohio, I tried to spend as much time with my mom as I could. Like, I lived 2 houses down from my mom, so I would just walk up to her house and then practically spend the whole day with her. I value my time a lot, and I value the time I get with people a lot. What are some hard lessons that you had to learn? This goes along with what advice would I give myself. We'll go with the big thing, though, is I have learned that it doesn't matter whether you try to treat people the way that you want to be treated. It doesn't matter what expectations you have, they're usually going to let you down. So pick your friends very carefully. Pick who you're around altogether very, very carefully. Don't just pick anybody to be in your circle. I've learned a lot of hard lessons by thinking somebody was my friend or somebody was on my side or would have my back, because I treated them that way. I did the same for them. I would have done anything, and then I got screwed somehow. Hard lesson is people will let you down, so pick who you're around very carefully. What is a saying that you live by? So that coincides with that, is even though people will still probably let you down, treat others how you want to be treated. If I'm sitting here and I'm being a royal pain in your butt, or I'm being mean to you, then by all means you have every right to be the same way to me. But if I do everything for you and try to help you as much as I can, give you the shirt off my back, all of that type of stuff. If I'm doing that, then I expect that back. And if I don't get that back, I don't need you in my life. That's my saying, is treat others how you want to be treated. And then if you're not getting that, out. What is one thing people misunderstand about you? I have RBF. It probably doesn't seem like it to you guys, but I do. I have a really bad resting bitch face. I have had a lot of people come up to me and be like, when I first saw you, I thought you were gonna kill me. Like, and a lot of these also came from a point in time where I was not a very happy person. I hadn't met Brian yet and had a job that just sucked. Absolutely sucked. So, but I still get the whole, you look like you're mad, or you look like you're mean or something, and I'm not. I've trying not to be, but I still kind of shelled myself, trying not to talk to a lot of people. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but people misunderstand the fact that I guess that I look mean, or like I'm not gonna be, very nice or something. But I mean, I think I can be, at least. I try to be. We'll go with that. I try to be nice. So anyway, that has been today's video. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate anyone who does watch these videos. Because this is all just for fun for me. YouTube is not my job. And I don't want to try to make it my job. If I make money from this, fine, whatever. I don't care. That doesn't matter to me. This is all just for fun. So I'm trying to, I'm just trying to get experience. I'm trying to, learn different things. Like when I'm editing, I'm trying to edit this video a different way than I edited this video. And this is just kind of like it's also like a documentary of me. It's about me, but I'm also posting things I do for other people. So, I really appreciate the views that I do get. They mean a lot to me. I really appreciate, the subscribers that I have. I know I don't have a lot right now, but I really appreciate you guys. Like, it does make me feel good when I see, like, oh, hey, you have a new subscriber. Oh, hey, look, this video got this many views. Like, that really makes me feel good, because I'm not doing this to get views. I'm not doing this to get subscribers. I'm just doing it to do it. So, but yeah, that's all for today. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you for watching, and I will see you when I make the next video.